high value feminine energy response when he pulls away. Hey, I'm Antia, founder and creator of the Magnetize Your Man method, and welcome back to the Magnetize Your Man online retreat. Of course, today with guest experts, Lisa Shield. Hello, Lisa.
Hello, Antia. How are you? It's great to be back.
So delighted to have you here and all your wisdom that you have to share. That is so refreshing and so different than what the average perception is. So really excited for that. And for those of you who don't know, Lisa, she's been helping women all over the country go from date to soulmate for almost 2 decades. I know she certainly doesn't look like it, but as someone who married young, spent years in an abusive relationship, she entered the dating pool broken, unaware, and ill-equipped to succeed. After her divorce, she wandered the dating wastelands like a relationship zombie, either devouring or being devoured. It took a few years before she realized she lacked both the tools and the wisdom to find the love she dreamt of, to find her true soulmate. So after about 10 years of helpless dating, the pain got so bad that she decided there must be some method, some secret, something. And so she sold her business, got a degree in spiritual psychology, studied with spiritual masters all over the world to learn the workings of the heart. The wisdom of these teachings, combined with the wisdom of her own struggles and failures, provided her with the tools and insights to create her emotionally naked dating program, and also brought her to the love of her life, Benjamin. And they've been, of course, passionately in love after almost 20 years. What, do you want to say anything?
Who wrote that bio?
What do you say, Lisa?
Oh my God. I said, who wrote that bio?
Well, it says, there you go. This is the bio. Like, we get to know you a little better.
Oh my God. That was so long. I'm going to have to work on that thing.
Oh,
oh my
great.
God. That's hilarious. But yes.
Well, I'm so excited to have you here. You help your clients to find love within 6 to 12 months, and super excited to talk about a high value feminine response, because I get this question all the time, Lisa. And regardless if it's because they may not even deal necessarily with an avoidant dismissive attachment style, but maybe the women did something subconsciously that sabotaged a little bit, and now he's like, I need a little space, I need to find trust inside of myself again. So let's start the party. So what do you see?
How do I see what's happening? Well, like you said, there are several things that could be going on, right? The guy could be avoidant. You could remind him of his ex-mother-in-law. Like, I don't know what's going on there, but, or an ex-girlfriend, or an ex-wife, right? Or he could be, he might be busy. We don't know. There's a million reasons why people pull away. Our initial, first of all, you want to look at your initial reaction. Where do you go with it? Do you start beating yourself up? Do you start going into, here it goes again. I must be doing something wrong. I'm flawed, whatever. Or what is your internal response? Not even what is he up to or what caused him, right? I mean, isn't that true, Antia?
Absolutely. And, part of it is sometimes also it's like a natural rhythm, because there's closeness and then there is space, right? There's a couple identity,
that too.
Individual identity, right?
Yeah.
So let's actually start with the first scenarios. I think it's good to just walk us down the line, basically, based on the different scenarios. So let's say she's actually dating a relatively secure, grounded, masculine man. But she, sometimes we women know, we're like, Lisa, you know what I mean? Like, last Thursday I said something and I don't know, I feel like something went like off in a wrong way. What can she do when he seemingly pulls away? Because that's also the other thing, right? We have the story, like, what can she do or say, or even like with herself? It doesn't even have to be towards him.
And Antia, are we talking about, like two people who have gone on some dates? Are we talking about
a little bit of a connection
they
with
have a
each
little bit of a connection, right?
Yeah,
So
a
they've been
couple dates, yeah.
a couple dates. If she really knows that she did something and she's clear that she did something on her end and she wants to clean it up, I think I think it's a very high integrity, high quality caliber feminine thing to do, to clean up something, right? So that's what I love, is about how can I be an adult in this situation, and what is the image or the impression I want to give to this guy. So for me, if I've done something wrong, I want to clean it up, and I want to do that in a very classy way. So I would say the other night when this thing happened, I realized that I wasn't paying attention, or I disregarded your feelings, or I got defensive. And that's, I really wanted to apologize for my behavior. And so, if you do that, and that guy really likes you and it's a great guy, he's not just gonna be happy to hear that, but he's gonna take note. It's gonna impress the right guy if you do that in the right way.
Yeah, that's a good point, right? It's like overcoming the pride or the fear that he's gonna, not care, that it's not gonna have an impact on him because he already decided that he doesn't want to be with you.
Not at all. In fact, that man, if he's a great guy and a good guy and he really likes you, he's going to take note of that. And he's going to be like, I like the way she handles her side of things and the way she cleans up a mess. And that's the kind of woman I'm looking for. People who know these things.
Well, it's also a tremendously trust building, right? I feel like we're building more trust in those moments than you're building in, like, just walking down the street, holding hands.
Right.
Everything is happy-go-lucky, right? Like that's not built the most trust, isn't it true?
In those moments, just like that. It was like, I'll give you an example, Antia. On my first date with Benjamin, he got lost and he missed the exit to go to to get to the restaurant. It was a terrible intersection and he kept missing it because you couldn't see the sign. And he was late. And this was before, it was right at the beginning of cell phones. I'm dating myself, but it was 20 years ago. And he called the restaurant and I got on the phone, and he was so flustered and embarrassed. And he was thinking, if anything comes of this date, it'll be a miracle. And I said to him, he said, I'm so sorry. I missed the exit. I got lost. And I said, that's okay. I'm just sitting here enjoying myself. And I said, take all the time you need. I said, is everything okay? And he said, yeah, I'll be there in, 15 minutes. And I said, I'll be here when you get here. And handling it that way, he literally thought, who is this woman? He was waiting for, well, where are you? And when can you get here? And what happened? And whatever. And I was just like, I'm sitting here enjoying myself.
And what did it take for you to do that? Because I could see women say, well, I don't want to come off as a doormat, like I don't want to be like, oh, now I'm accommodating him, right? It's okay that he's late and I'm pretending nothing is happening, right? So what was the internal?
Well, first of all, let me tell you that's a freaking game. People run late, things happen, and we need to grow up and be adults. That's number one. He's not making you into a doormat. Nobody makes you into a doormat unless you let them. So for me, it's very clear to me that things happen, life happens. I mean, I know that intersection, by the way.
I know it too. We talked about it, Lisa.
Yeah.
Gosh,
I should have told him about the intersection, to be honest, but I didn't think to. But anyway, the bottom line is I wasn't reactive, and it literally was the beginning of that man falling in love with me right there in that moment before he'd ever even met me. And, he wasn't out to get me. People get lost. I mean, we have to look at those things inside of ourselves. I think tons of these women are pushing men away with these stupid, not stupid, I get it, where they come from.
Yeah.
Girls, scratch that. Ladies, I didn't mean that. But it is kind of stupid that we do this to ourselves, right? That we hurt ourselves like this.
Yeah.
Men run late. Things happen, and it's about being able to be in the moment and have good boundaries. Now, if that kept happening and Benjamin kept coming in late for things and claiming he was getting lost, that would have been the end of it. We would have had a conversation. And if it didn't change, I wouldn't let somebody do that to me over and over again.
Right. Totally. Yeah. That's a good way of seeing it too. Is it like a one-time instance, right? Or is it like a pattern? Does it become a pattern?
Yeah, so thank you. You said that much more concisely than I did.
Oh, okay. But I think it's really important to look at that, right? Because women can become like so defensive, because maybe, there's this joke that a woman, when she's like in an abusive relationship, she oversees all the red flags and she just excuses everything. But then when she's single again, and all of a sudden, no, his nose is just a little bit to the right. I don't like that, right? So all of a sudden they're like swinging the opposite way, right? So first they were like, trample over all your red flags, paint them all green. And then, all of a sudden going the opposite direction, just calling, like literally criticizing every little piece. So that's a very good piece. Now, when we look at the other side of the coin, let's actually say we are dealing with a dismissive avoidant attachment style, right? So somebody who's not securely attached, who doesn't know, he doesn't feel safe with regularity, consistency, things like that. Like, what is the right way? First of all, how could a woman identify that she's dealing with that kind of type versus the other kind of type? And then the second question is, of course, how would she respond to that?
Yeah. So, how do you recognize it? Love bombing or ghosting, or, a guy that's like, every time you have a close, intimate conversation, he may agree with you, but then he distances himself from you. And it just keeps happening over and over again. And it doesn't seem to progress. There's a lot of signs that you can start to learn about avoidant behavior, how avoidants operate. And I think Antia would agree, for anybody listening, you really should educate yourself and really become aware of these signs, because avoidants don't change. They don't. And they're very attractive, and we get pulled in and waste a lot of time with them, telling ourselves, oh, we do the running and the chasing, and it's never going to go anywhere.
And I think also the fatal thing that happens in the beginning is, right, the avoidant has sort of like this idealizing of a situation that then, of course, somebody's going to fall off that, right? While the anxious has the whole future anticipation. So in the beginning, it seems to be like, we're speaking the same language. We're both want to get married. And we both want to, what I mean?
Yeah. And so, be wary of that. Don't, as adults, as grown-ups, we have to really start to be very practical and realistic about some of this. And, I'm so practical and realistic. And I really want the women to hear, I have the most wildly romantic relationship I think, anyone could hope for. And it's equal measures, grounded and practical and real and magical. And it's because, right, Antia, you have both of those components, but you have to have both. You can't have these these fantasies and magical thinking and all.
Right.
You have to do the work. It has to be grounded. So I used to be avoidant. And so I know a lot about what that's like. I know how scary it is for avoidance when somebody really does want to attach to us. We are terrified. It is the most frightening thing in the world. We say we want it, and we do, but once it starts happening, we get so scared that we just shut it down. Mm-hmm. And that's where we go cold. That's where we pull away, and look for reasons to sabotage it so we won't have to get close. So it's really it's a really hard thing to change. Women have an easier time changing it because we're more self-reflective than men are, right? And men, most by and large, don't get help for it. And so some do, but way fewer, and they don't go to therapy. So anyway, how do you deal with that, right? As a high caliber woman? Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's first really getting honest and real with yourself about what it is, that this is what's going on, right? And being willing to acknowledge that it's not going to change, that you've had enough instances of trying to get close to him and feeling the pain of him pulling away, that that you can't keep doing that, right? You've got to get clear about the cost, what it's costing you, how much it hurts, and that you're done with that cycle, because that cycle's not going to change. You've done it enough times to know. And then I would have a final conversation with this person. If it's been, if it's long enough, depending on the time, I would just say, I wish you all the best. And I realize, that we're not a match, that this isn't going to work. But the high caliber woman will not try to teach him or tell him how much he hurt her and what he did wrong and how he did it wrong. Like she's there to take you. You can't do that because it doesn't matter. He can't hear it, and he'll turn it on you. Mm-hmm. He'll actually turn the conversation around, and he will blame you. He won't take responsibility for it. So yeah, a high caliber, high quality woman, right? She just won't make it about herself.
And Lisa, because so that's sort of the external, and how can she kind of fortify herself from the inside while she does that? Because she obviously has to deal with a lot of different parts inside of herself that are disappointed or that had hopes or.
Well, that you do separately, that you do on your own. Mm-hmm. You do that privately because you can't do it with him. And going and trying to take it out on him or extract justice or an apology or whatever we try to do, that just doesn't work. And the healing has to be done inside of you. So being aware of that you're not going to get the healing from him, even if he admits that he was a jerk and that he's so sorry for what he did. It's not going, you have to forgive and let go it. You've got to do the healing work inside yourself. Mm. You do. And that's the hard part about this, is that we're so hurt and it's so devastating, because we bought into it and we thought it was going to work and we wanted it to work. And it hurts to see that they don't care.
Yeah. And what is like one example or one tool that a woman can even start doing, right? When she's like, I hear this for the first time. I wouldn't even know where to start with healing myself and not expecting the man.
Well, you see, I think this is the culmination of a lot of growth. I really do, Antia. I mean, I think we can try to do this, but I think we talked in another episode, one of these talks that we did. I don't know the correct term right now. People are calling master class interview.
Yeah.
But we talked about the imposter And I really believe that, avoidance can be our imposters. They can be this test to see where we really are. How you handle these men who ghost you or disappear or turn hot and cold. It's a test. These guys are really a test. I mean, if you think about it, that's what they are. They're imposters and they test us. And to really be able to see who you are and your level of evolution in terms of your own, in this area of your life, I think, we will meet that final guy who does this to us. And the real question is, can you walk away and just say, wow, that's his stuff. I'm not going to let him project it on me. And I think it's the culmination of really doing our personal growth work in this area. I really do. Totally. I don't think you can fake it. There's no easy fix.
No, that's for sure. And I think women who come to my events know that. They know they're not just going to get like the magic pill. And yeah. Can you give us like an example of a story of a woman that you have worked with and helped her, break through that, being attracted to the wrong man and hoping they're going to save the day, so to say. And she was able to actually, strengthen herself from the inside out and attract the right man for herself.
Yeah. I had a client who is with the most extraordinary man. And she is one of my, she's really in my heart, this woman. I just love her. And she put herself in my hands. And she pushed, she would go after avoidant men and she would push good men away. And in fact, she, part of what she did was, I'm thinking about, she wouldn't dress up. She had all these things that she was blocked around doing, to really attract a man. So she wanted it, but she wouldn't do a lot of the things that would really make her attractive to a man. She did some of those things. She had a wicked sense of humor. She could text like nobody's business and, those things, because she was sharp and bright and funny, but she wouldn't make herself physically attractive. Anyway, I told her, she worked with me and we really were stripping down her walls. And I said to her, you may not think that men can see your fear and your insecurities, but they can. And she said, well, I'm not like this on a date. And I said, it comes through. And she met her imposter. She met a man who saw through her. And he made a comment to her and she said, well, let's see what happens, if we even like each other when we meet. And he said, wow, that doesn't sound very positive. And I helped walk her through this because she saw that he called her out and that he could see her fear and all. But she also saw after that he was manipulating her. And for the first time, she was able, with my help, to stand up, to really look at this guy and see that he, even he was actually using his insightfulness into her personality to manipulate her and draw her close. And so she saw it, but she walked away. And if you ask where the healing was, she had grown so much through letting go of her blocks and facing her fears and being able not to be hurt by this or take it personally. And then, but this was all through our work together. I know you want very specific details of how I do this, but it's a process that I walk my women through. And she was completely unfazed. She saw it for what it was. She got right back out in the dating world and literally her whole confidence shifted. And she became, after she faced that, because that was her worst fear, being rejected by somebody like that, being pulled into a relationship and being rejected.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that she walked through it and it didn't take down her self-esteem, her self-worth. And that was all through our work together.
Oh, so beautiful. So awesome. So for the women who are like, okay, I want to know the tools. I want to know how I can work with Lisa. What's the free gift that you have for them? Because I know you have a really amazing, incredible gift.
All right. Let's look at that. I offer a 45-minute presentation. I love it. I think it's really beautiful. And, you know, it gives away a lot. I mean, there's a lot of depth to it. So women seem to get so much value from it. And Antia will give you the link. And if you like it, do stay to the end. I mean, there is another gift at the very end. We like to give gifts. We coach. But you can get even another gift if you stay to the end. So yeah, watch it. And I hope you get a lot out of it.
Awesome. So the link for that is right below this video, ladies. So you will not want to miss that. So thank you so much for joining us again with your wisdom, Lisa. I always enjoy hearing your stories and hearing your clients' stories too. They're just like so interesting how they turn around.
Thank you, Antia. It was great doing this. Thanks for having me back again.
Of course. And for the ladies, I will talk to you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.